What's up? So I believe that going on again and again over the same thing may not make sense. So I'll just skip the rules since you are not able to communicate. I understand you must be very busy. This is what we'll be covering today. But before we start doing this thing, um, did any one of you write an ad for the Nokia 3310 as discussed? Okay. So with this least interaction, I will be covering the session as per your will now. Cool. So this is what we'll be covering today. We'll be learning about what are the taglines and what's the baseline as well. Types of taglines, why taglines matter, and how to craft a tagline. And I don't see the sixth part happening here with this batch since you are not interacting. The live testing might not work. Let's. What are these? उफ, इतना ठंडा बिहेवियर. Cool, doesn't matter. Uh, so these are basically the representation of us, of our thoughts, of different faces, the visions that we might see. This thing, I'm good at this thing. Oh, so these are all representations of one of the parts of us, right? So with these representations, let's start our brain engines and understand what's a tagline. So, tagline, I say, is the line placed next to the tag or the brand name. It makes the space in the mind of the audience, or it makes the space in the mind of the audience, or gives you a visual perception or an understanding about the brand. Cool, this makes sense to you? These are some examples. Nike, just do it. Target, expect more, pay less. Porsche, there's no substitute. Mercedes, best on nothing. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Life's good. LG. These are a few examples of the taglines that we have. We have been seeing, we have been adopting, right? And this gives us an understanding about the brand as well. These are all taglines, like I've picked. But in the metaverse of advertising, a tagline represents a brand's value and positioning amongst the target audience. It not it it is not just the visual about of it. It is not just about what they stand for. It is also about their positioning among the target audience, the brand's positioning amongst the target audience. It is the value of the brand that the brand is carrying. Like we saw, Just Do It is Nike. Like McDonald's, I'm loving it. So they are also putting a brand's position in your mind as well. That McDonald's food is, oh yeah, this is yummy. Nike's Just Do It is like motivational, energizing you. Now tell me, who says this, and why do they say so?
Apple.
Sorry?
Apple, I guess, sir.
Yeah, and why do they say so? Why is
Sir,
think
because
different the
I,
tagline?
Apple is like producing the phones and like the electronic devices which are the most different among all of them.
Apple is basically it's about innovation. It always innovates its products by it replaces its older products by thinking a different way.
Hmm, nice. Cool. So yeah, like you said, these are good. But try to think from this perspective. No, Aisha, you don't get this. This guy is different. This one is different. So we associate different with being better. And hence all the tangential words: innovative, revolutionary, new things. So when we think different, it's like better, yeah. I'm different than others. So I position myself as better than others. Unless you are a very negative person, which I don't think you guys are. So that's why think different evokes the thought that you are better than others. And that is the power of a tagline. They immediately make you feel and uh, separate out different thought processes associated with that particular line of two, three, four words. Now, what's the baseline? Can you tell me what is a baseline? Baseline is nothing but tagline. बस छोटी मस्ती है. अलग लैंग्वेजेस में टैगलाइन को अलग तरीके से डिनोट किया जाता है. Taglines and baseline is the same thing. So, what does the tagline matter? And why is it so important? Muggles, witches, and wizards all do it. Guess where? We all do it. Acha, tell me, huh? Do you guys can give me a guess on where do muggles, witches, and wizards use the tagline? It's on our LinkedIn profiles. Anyone who has a LinkedIn profile, we have to write a brief thing after our name, which is being showed when you search someone. That's the tagline for a person. So as per brands, it helps, the tagline helps the brand to differentiate in the pool of brands where they are competing with a lot of different names, but in the same niche, in the same category. So tagline becomes a
Hello,
way.
me.
Yes, can you come back?
So can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry. My mic has. I've been trying to unmute since the start of the session. It's not letting me unmute since then. I actually designed an ad for the phone as well, but I've not been able to unmute only, so I couldn't talk.
No worries, no worries. You can share with us at the end of the session. Then this particular session,
Okay,
you can
sure.
share your screen. Then
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
perfect. So in you are one brand, and there are a lot of brands in the same field doing the same thing. But this tagline helps you differentiate from them because it conveys the value and it also position you amongst that pool of audience who will be using those brands in the same niche. And also the tagline conveys the vision. Plus there's one more element now, their take, the brand's take on technology, let's say, on food, let's say, on quality. And hence there is a layer of different perspectives to a tagline. You see how magical we are when we are writing a tagline. As a writer, it becomes our duty to actually research, understand, analyze, and also at the same time look at the other brands in the similar niche as well, why they are doing what they are doing. Understanding, when you're writing this, understanding your target audience is also important. So when I'm talking about this thing, there are different types of taglines. But before tagline, I want to give a brief about brand positioning. And this is this element of surprise. This particular course is meant to help you understand the copywriting, the advertisement part of marketing. But I wanted you guys to have a little deeper understanding, because just writing the content on the basis of some brief or some idea is one thing, but when you understand that how a brand is being positioned into the market, you write in a better way which connects with the people in a better way. And that's why I have added these few slides. And this is not on your leaflet that when you get into the course and you get, because this is a element of surprise for you guys. Brand positioning is a way brands want to portray themselves in the market and in the minds of customers. Sounds easy, right? It's like not tough. Okay, brand wants to position in a certain way. And okay, this is good. But then how do you position it? It's easy to say, but hard to do. Why? Because there are a lot of athletic wear, active wear brands. How does Nike stand out? Their brand positioning is so. And to understand how you do brand positioning, I have made a intersection kind of thing for you. You see one slide, one part of the circle is what consumer wants and what are their needs. The other is brand's superpower. The next is competitors' best move. So these three circles represent three different fragments or three different levels of positioning the brand. So this is what consumers want and what are their needs. This is what brand's superpower is, your brand's superpower is. And this is what customers do best or competitors do best. Cool. Now, I want to understand. I want to make you understand this thing. Everyone, individually as well, knows what they do not want. I might have shared this in the first session as well. Did I share it? This example?
No, so I don't think you shared this one.
So this is a common psychological aspect of this is a human behavioral aspect basically. When you give a person few choices, out of which he or she may not know what they want, but our brain is a very complex yet simple uh, organ, I would say, because the brain doesn't know what you want, but it does fairly know what you do not want. You might not know at certain point if instinctively somebody asks you that let's go and I eat ice cream. You may not know what to have, which flavor to have. But if I start saying few names which I know you will not, you'll just say no to it. For example, for me, if someone goes and says, okay, Sitafal ice cream, I would say no. Then orange ice cream, I would say no. Then it would say Rasmalai ice cream, no. Then I'll say, Acha, ye sab hata, get me this particular flavor. Our brain works in that manner. It personally and very fairly, on the first point, instinct only, knows what the person doesn't want, what he or she doesn't want. So, this, according to that understanding, for the brand, is a very bad place to be. This is what customers' wants and needs are. And this is what your competitors are doing best. If you position yourself here between the need and wants of the customer and the competitor's best move, this is very bad. If you position yourself between your superpower and the competitor's best move, this is messed up. No, big time no. And that's why these are two red flags. Now, these two positions are great. If you position in the center where the needs and wants of the consumer, the competitor's best move, and brand superpower coincide, this fair point is too good to be true. It is too good to be true. To come up to this point needs a lot of mehnat and also a lot of budget from the brand. Why? Because you have to reach to that audience, and without reaching to that audience, you might not be able to peak your whole thing. This will require budget. But the green area, the green land, here, where the needs and wants of the consumers are being intersected with the brand superpower, is a sweet spot. You can hit it. People will feel good, and it will position you very bravely and very smoothly into the flow. Let's see this example. Heads up for tails. Do you know about this? Do you know about this brand?
Yeah,
Great. So, Heads Up for Tails is a pet oriented brand.
yeah, pet brand.
Sorry?
Yeah, it sells pet, um, like pet food and like other.
Yeah, everything related to pets.
Yeah,
So, let's understand this thing. What does the brand do? Heads Up for Tails offers a complete range of everything a pet needs. Competitors of Heads Up for Tails: Paws and Collar, Super Tails, Paws and Nails. Current tagline for Heads Up for Tails is food, treats, and more. What's good about it? It is letting consumer know what Heads Up for Tails purpose is. It is very clear and very descriptive in itself as well. But on the contrary, what it misses is it doesn't set Heads Up for Tails apart, or it doesn't highlight the unique offering that it has. It's very generic, I would say. According to that circle, let's understand and break down this thing. This is how you might also want to approach. What consumers want? They want a convenient all in one destination where they can find everything their pet wants, the needs of their pets, without having any, without having to go and hassle for another shop and find something over there. Now, what competition is doing? Competitors effectively offer this convenience by providing comprehensive range of pet products in one place. What our brand Heads Up for Tails does best is Heads Up for Tails stands out by truly delivering a complete end-to-end solution for every aspect. I mean everything. A lot of places you might find something missing, something very dicey about. Heads Up for Tails even has substitutes of things. So you have everything for every pet that they have. Now let's find out their brand positioning. These are red areas. So I've placed the consumers wants, powers, and best moves from here in the circle. You'll see all-in-one pet store is what consumers want. Variety of pet essentials is what competitors is doing. Variety of pet essentials is what our best move as well. So now these are red areas. If I say the most affordable all-in-one pet store, it will not be good. Why? Because this is what competitors is doing and what people want. But our brand is not that affordable. It is a standardized and above standardized economic range. Wali cheese. If I position myself here between my superpower and competitors' advantage, at last a store for just birds. Why? Because legit, a lot of places are just focused on the commercial aspect of pet parenting, which is cats and dogs and other 2 3 pets. Heads Up for Tails has even everything related to birds as well. So this is again fact. This is not a great position. Too good to be true and too expensive to be spread. This area where everything merges, it can be positioned as everything your pet needs under one roof. But here, where what consumers want and what our superpower is, making pet parenting hassle free. If Heads Up for Tails, rather than food, treats, and others, writes making pet parenting hassle free, it immediately cuts out what people are saying affordable, everything, best care for your dogs, best care for your pet. We have positioned ourselves and talking to just parenting of pets, making pet parenting hassle free. That makes sense for you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now when you write this thing, no, when you start your brand, when you write it for yourself and when you write it for your brand, one thing you need to write is this. You need to write the concept of the brand positioning as well. You need to give the brand, the people who are in the brand, some idea of why have you written it, what have you written it, and this is how you write it. Being a pet parent is a rewarding experience, but it's also full of questions. What's the best food? How do you manage grooming? What toys are safe? At at Has Up for Tails, we understand that caring for your pet goes beyond just buying products. It's about learning how to provide the best life for them. We are here to provide the tools and knowledge needed in our program. Learn with Heads Up for Tails. I've not made it. This is legit. They have to make pet parenting hassle free. At Heads Up for Tails, we make pet care easy and fun, making the brand understand, connect, and dive into the idea that you have researched and took a lot of time to write it. Why is my camera turned off? So now taglines are needed for this reason, to give clarity to the brand, to give clarity to the target audience. They help brands position themselves uniquely. Have you attended any freshers or farewell?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So when you've attended it, do you give out titles to people as well?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And this is similar to that. When you, for the brand, you have to give them a title as well, no, so that people know specifically how to remember that person, how to remember that brand. And so we need to understand there are different types of taglines. Wow, okay. The first is descriptive. The descriptive taglines are the ones where you describe about your vision to your target audience, like the one which Indigo has. Your unique promise is being described through this on time, all the time. The unique promise of Indigo being on time, making you reach to the destination on time, is what being promised by Indigo.
So can we say that it's also the brand's priority?
Yeah, it's their promise, no?
Yeah.
It's their unique brand's unique promise that they are writing on time all the time.
Yeah.
Second is imperative. Imperative means, typically using verbs which urges an immediate action in consumers mind, creating a sense of urgency, making people feel very immediately inspired or moved with it, like Nike swoosh and they write just do it. So this is what imperative type of tagline is. Then there is provocative. These taglines often ask you a question. You know, they trigger in our mind some points to consider in our life in some way or the other. They try to challenge our status quo. And with this, close up came up in a very good manner. You remember क्या आप close up करते हैं? Tagline that close up came up with. It left you with a question and it made you think about your oral health and your toothpaste choices proactively. So provocative is the third type of tagline that we use. Specific. Now this type of tagline, emphasizes more on the brand's, the business's focus of work, and it clearly communicates the message of the company to the target audience, like the HSBC, world's local bank. We're world's local and bank. It is just talking about their business and their focus with a clear communication that we are present everywhere and we are present anywhere.
So descriptive and specific would be kind of similar, right?
Descriptive is a promise that they are doing. Here, their focus is to reach out to a lot of places as much as they can. And it is very business oriented for HSBC.
Okay.
Very superlative. This type of tagline, positions the brand as the best by incorporating powerful adjectives like Porsche. There's no substitute. This elevates your status quo. There's no substitute. Porsche, you have to have it. There's nothing like Porsche. And standing to their brand's position, Porsche, correct me if I'm wrong, has never been in F1
That's true.
because they developed their flat V6 engines, V8 flats, and they wanted to participate. F1 asked them to come to, and participate. They said that, okay, we'll come, but we'll have our engines in your type of race, which is flat V12, V6. So the F1 said, no, we cannot because it is not up to us. In our guidelines to allow you this. And so they were like, "Yeah, okay, there's no substitute to what we believe. And hence we'll not be in F1 anytime." And now, and they now do not want it. They made a lot of cars, a lot of track race cars just to beat the timing of different types of race cars. They just made one street come track car which actually beat a lot of timings as well. So we all understand that we are living in 2024, and this 2024 is being evolving a lot. We are all evolving species, yaar. Come on, we evolve a lot. Can you give me a minute? I need to uh, refresh my screen. Why I am actually zoomed in ekdam se. Just give me a minute, huh?
So
Whew. Technology, we are evolving, but the problems remain the same and the solution remains the same. Refresh or restart. So we are evolving species, right? And with us, the advertising world has also been evolving. And now, at a lot of spaces, you will see taglines don't tick off all the boxes that we just read. They might not be ticking out boxes. At a lot of places, you can call some taglines as superlative and also specific. They can be provocative and also defining. Like Tata Sky, beautiful tagline. इसको लगा डाला तो लाइफ झिंगा लाला. यहाँ पे फैमिली झिंगा लाला लिया है. इसको लगा डाला तो फैमिली झिंगा लाला, लाइफ झिंगा लाला. So it is also superlative that इसको लगा डाला लाइफ झिंगा लाला, and also provocative that इसको लगा डाला लाइफ झिंगा लाला. Or specific, it has elements of different types of taglines. Asian Paints, हर घर कुछ कहता है. A beautiful example. This campaign we will study a lot at a lot of times in this particular course. Which brand is this?
Surf Excel?
Yes, Surf Excel. दाग अच्छे हैं. You see, this is specific. Yeah, दाग अच्छे. Also,
Yeah.
and also the first type of tagline, if you remember, that's also this particular tagline. Do you remember the first tagline type of tagline we read?
Descriptive.
Yeah, also describing, दाग अच्छे हैं.
Yeah.
Great. So in these evolving period that we are in, our advertising field is also in this same flow. So the processes that I I observed in 2016, 17 till 2020, 22 made a lot of sense there. And formats now have made have taken a different route altogether. Now these formats are driven, these advertisements are driven, and all the marketing is driven through the route of insight. Now this insight drives a lot of things, which we will study, don't worry. But what is an ideal tagline length, you might ask? How many words should be there? There can be anything. Honestly, there is no word limit to it. I'll tell you with an example. Strategically, you position your brand and it should deliver the message. Example is this. You see, the first is American Express. American Express talks about don't live life without it. This also asking you, this is descriptive, specific, provocative, but more importantly, they are on an insight that living life. This is an insight. Don't live life without it. Thumbs up. Taste the thunder. It is giving you an insight of energy. You have to do it. You have to get it done. Coca-Cola, open happiness. Talking about again an aspect of behavior, human behavior, and emotion. Dollar Shave Club, shave time, shave money. My God, this one I like. Mastercard. This is the longest that you will read. There are some things money can't buy, and for everything else, there is Mastercard. See, this is a great insight. If you read it all together, there are some things that money can't buy. For everything else, there is Mastercard. Beautiful insight. Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's Maybelline. Driving through an insight all throughout this journey. So there is no ideal length. Nowadays, the main aim is you should have an insight which will drive you to this particular type of conversation which your brand needs to position itself, where the brand needs to be present and how the target audience needs to consume it. Then how do you write a tagline? That is important. After going through all these 30, 35 slides, how do you write it? That's the main question. I have made it down into 5-step recipe so that you make it as easy as it's cooking a Maggie. So the first step then becomes gathering the essentials. You have to be, again, you have to become Sherlock here, like we discussed in our first session. Become a Sherlock. Ask question. You need to understand what your brand is offering, what the audience want, who are your target audience. You need to see what makes your brand and product as the preferable choice over other brands that they might be having in this space already. You need to ask a lot of things. You need to gather these essentials. Then you start thinking about how you want to taste it. You know, while making a baggie, we sometimes want to know that, okay, one packet of masala is okay. But a lot of times you'll be like, if I would have gotten 1.5 packet equal of masala in one packet, which is not too much, and which is not too less. It's a perfect sweet spicy kind of thing which I like. At points you might think that okay, adding some paneer would make it more healthy to eat, and at some points you would feel like okay, I should think more about my health and I should add peas and carrots to my Maggie. It's the same with the tagline. You have you have to have one kind of taste, and you need to have that bite to convince you that you cook well, and this is the kind of Maggie that you wanted. Tagline is that one type. You need to first understand, you need to first, after gathering all the information, see how is the brand looking from within themselves, how do they collaborate, what are their target audiences, how are their target audiences divided, how the target audiences consume or takes the help of their service or the product. And then you need to sit down and understand that where in this multiverse of madness can my brand be positioned. So you go back to the Venn diagram of three circles and you see how do you collaborate between different brands, yourself, how do you find your inner voice. To find that inner voice, you need to use this thing as well, where I was talking about how do you collaborate with a brand. So by collaborating with a brand, I meant that you need to see and become the competitor sometimes. How are they doing so good? You need to evaluate that. You need to observe. And now here comes a point where the brand has a certain tone. For example, Ananya, Yashasvi, Pari, and the another Ananya, me, we all speak in different way. The way we speak in is our tone. And in these brand world, every brand speaks in a certain way to their customers. You need to find that way. A lot of times you will have a set of brand voice, brand tone setup. Why? Because the brands who have been in this field of business for some time will come to you. And there might be times as well where the brand is starting from the scratch. And then that will be the time where you start the tone of the brand altogether. But you need to observe how the brand communicates to its audience, not just on digital platform, but also in physical way. If you are able to go and see how they operate, how they communicate, how is the process, it gives you more insight on how things are being held in the business, how the business is being run. Now our Maggie is almost ready. Just let it boil for some time. You let it soak, you let it cook. You have gathered the information from the brand. You've gone and understood what the brand tone is. You've got the information that was essential for you to understand what your brands are doing. Now let it all marinate. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. I would not say that. Take a break. Let it marinate. Let your subconscious mind do the work. And I try to do this a lot of times, which gives at times when I have time. Here, when I'm talking to you, it sounds like I'm very free, but life is busy. So this happens, then you take a break, you let the thoughts that you have cook in your mind. Don't get yourself indulged in social media or watching some movie or doing something. Sit idly, go out for a walk, do something to relax you. It gives you great ideas. It gives you mind blowing ideas. You will say like, oh, am I the same Ananya? I can I think like this? You'll be like that. Now step five, you start plating. You get started with the plating and you start shouting, okay, Maggie ban gayi hai, aa jao. You write random lines. You start plating means you're starting to put your Maggie, getting the sauce or cheese or oregano or chili flakes. So you start with all of that subconscious thoughts, start writing them down randomly. And also you write those specific which came to, your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind approved it. Okay, this can be good, right? And some random source and some shit type of content as well. Just for fun. You'd have some content for fun as well. And then you sit with that, you sit with those options and you go deep to select. You go and see that how my brand is being positioned when I say this particular line. When I say I'm loving it, how is a person going to assume me as a brand? What kind of emotions it might evoke? Am I being just a cliche again? Or will my target audience be able to even understand it? So you go in deep into that, select, I have written this thing. Uh, like you go select five and then you go deep into those five ideas. It can be two or three, but don't let it go beyond five. Beyond five, it will be a lot of mess for you to understand. You go deep into those thoughts. If you think that, first and second thought are not good, but first, when combined with my fourth thought, can look very great. So I would try to make khichdi out of it. Like Maggie with sauce might not look good, but when I have Maggie with oregano, it sounds good. So you start doing all of these things. Start writing random things. And again, I'm saying you guys, when you're starting, don't get disheartened if you don't get in the first time. It is a process that you need to go through. It might not be just the five or seven headlines that taglines that comes to you might fit in. You might have to write 50, 70 taglines. I wrote in my first session, I might have shared with you that I wrote 250 around a tagline copy pieces, out of which only a few were selected. Then I wrote about more than 100, out of which few were selected. And then they said, build on it. These thoughts are good. In one of his talks, Tanmay Bhatt says, I have given thousands of hours of writing to reach to a point where I am right. So this kind of things where you don't, these skills and these um piece of art, I would say sometimes only comes with practice. Every art, every skill comes with practice, even math. But then you have formulas over there. Here you have formulas, and to crack that formula, you'll have to write. That's the only formula. What does the key unlocks? The last point of your thing. If the headline is the key, the smooth road with the canopy is what comes and opens it. The headline catches the attention. The body has to have other things need to educate it. You know, you need to start plating it. You need to start addressing it and understand that okay, this is the part where my masala is now getting done. Sorry, just a minute, I have to open another window. That's why. Yeah. Anything that you want to ask up till now? I gave this 6 number here just to make it a part of it. It's not the part of the recipe, but it is the part of explaining why it is important, to write a tagline and summarizing in a line that, the body, whatever the body writes, uh, the ad that the company writes, it needs to then, align with the tagline, the headline that you have. It needs to educate, see the purpose, and builds the advocacy. Now let's get our hand dirty. Are you all here? Can you do this activity, or again you have to take the screenshot and share it later? But I think Ananya is here. Ananya Singh is being interactive, I say. So Hamleys, we all know Hamleys.
Yeah.
Suppose Hamleys head of marketing of India, and came comes to you. She came to you, or he comes to you, and they went through your LinkedIn profile. They were impressed by your performance. Seeing me in your profile, seeing you are certificate there, they were like, okay, now this person needs to have bigger responsibilities on their shoulder, and they decides to give you an opportunity to write tagline for Hamleys. But the twist is you have 10 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
we know what Hamleys do, we know the target audience as well, we know who
Yeah.
all might be the competitors.
Hmm.
Let's take 10 minutes and write a tagline for Hamleys. Cool, I'm setting the timer for 10 minutes now. You guys have the annual function and the scenes going on? Preparations for sports day, something like that?
Sports day, not really.
Hmm?
Our sports day already happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
इतनी जल्दी कैसे हो गया?
Uh, I think last to last month.
Oh, बारिश में ही करवा दिया।
नहीं बारिश नहीं थी। Oh हाँ, there was बारिश. They actually postponed it. It was supposed to happen on that day, and then it started raining.
Yeah, that's the month for cycle of rains only.
Hmm. It rained actually the day before sports day, then they had to postpone it because the ground was wet.
Uh, so when do you have it now?
No, no, it already happened.
Acha, now also in October it happened.
No, no, it happened once only.
But you
Already
just said
happened.
no, they had to postpone it.
Yeah, they postponed it that week, like when it happened.
Acha, 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 acha. Nice.
Mm.
Others are there or not? They are trying to do this activity or not? But both are Ananya Singh only. One I will say Ananya and another is Ananya. Mr. Svi, what's up? You doing or not? Pari?
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Have you guys watched any series yet or just busy with Diwali ki safai?
And, and yes, in general, I have watched series.
Which one?
I'm currently watching this one called House Empty.
How? What?
House MD. It's a medical
House
site.
MD.
Yeah,
Okay, nice. How far have you come?
I am now in season 6.
Oh wow, season 6. My God. You have long holidays, I see.
No, actually, I started watching it last year.
Oh, last year. My God. You have less holidays then.
Yes, I don't get much time to watch, so I've been trying to finish it since so long.
And I remember, but I'm a binge watcher.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I start, I will give up my sleep, but I'll finish the season.
No, I have an issue with completing seasons and shows. Like, I'll be watching a show, but then beats me, I'll start watching another movie.
Oh, nice. So, am I disturbing you
No, I'm just thinking.
in between tagline?
Hmm.
Because you have 4.5 minutes now. And life will be like this. You will have another call, you will have another message in
Hmm.
between all this. So, have you guys written something?
Yes, sir.
Hey, perfect,
Yes, sir.
perfect. Um, like read it aloud and write it in the chat box as well, no? So maybe while the Ananya speaks out, the Ananya can write her taglines in the chat box. Then Ananya will read and then Ananya can write.
Sir, I love your point of differentiation for our names. Because the one I wrote, actually wrote multiple. So I think the one I want to like,
Yeah, you can read everyone if you think they are reading it.
the place teddy bears call home.
The place.
Teddy bears call
Mhm.
home.
Okay.
That one I think. That one.
Hmm. That's the only that you want to share.
Yeah, others I need to like sort of refine.
बताओ तो सही हमें भी.
I haven't written it properly, like it's in my head.
Hmm. But when you say a place Teddy calls its house,
Yeah, a place
why?
called
Sorry,
home. A place teddy bears call home.
a place Teddy bears call home. Why this?
So, teddy bears usually are meant for younger children. That hits the demographic. And it's like a toy shop, so you can get toys from there. So, um, it appeals to the younger generation, which is the target audience for Hamley.
Mm-hmm. So target audience is younger generation, right?
Yes,
But who is the decision maker?
the parent.
So then, I mean, just taking it with the words, as you said, a
Mhm.
place Teddy calls its home, right?
Yeah.
If I say that, I position myself as a home for teddies. When I
Mhm.
position myself as a home for teddies, how cruel it would be for someone to take it away from the home.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So look at look at it from every perspective when you write.
Mhm.
What else did you, Yashasvi, Pari, did you also write? Ananya, are you typing them down in the chat box?
Yes, sir. I wrote five of them.
Very nice. बताओ.
Yeah, so the first one is turning frowns into smiles.
Hmm. Turning frowns into smiles. Okay.
Second one is let's your dreams come true.
Hmm. So with them, give two lines of why as well with them. Like why this?
For the frowns into smiles one, I just thought that kids get happy when they play with toys. So I just wrote it down. And the let's your dreams come true. It is just like kids dream of many things and they will have this curiosity to see what Hamleys has. Like curiosity hogi.
Hmm.
A dream world built just for you. Same reason again.
Hmm.
Fourth one is making childhood memories since decades. I wanted to build a kind of a trust among the customers, like since decades. So like it's a trust company, like you can trust it. And
Hmm.
the fifth one, I don't even know why I wrote it. I randomly remembered the Elise in the Wonderland. I think it is the correct name. So I just wrote jump down the rabbit hole. Yeah,
Hmm. Nice, interesting.
thank you.
Nice.
That's it.
Okay. Great approach by Ananya and Ananya. We need to have something more. This is too long. Both are singing as well. We'll find out for that. Yashasvi, have you written anything, or Pari, have you written anything? I don't know if that's your name, Pari, or
Sir, I have written one. Come for the toys and stay for the magic.
come for the toys, stay for the magic. That's interesting. Nice. Good. Now, if Hamleys position itself as a place where, so what people want a place or all in one place for toys, right? What competitors are doing best is giving the quality products with a lot of different variety. What we do best, we give them a setting where they can experience the childhood. And with this angle, what people need, I combine it. And if I say a place to relive your childhood, a place where inner child comes out, this describes that it's a toy store. It also gives you a layer that your inner child might be activated. And I'm just saying with top of my mind thought that can also be an approach. So these factors also come in when you write. Okay, who is the decision maker? This is the target audience. Let's, for example, let's say you are teenagers. You have certain pocket money maybe, but that pocket money is for your own kharcha. That's not for buying this course maybe. Then what happens is you are my target audience. I will convince you as well. But then who is actually enrolling you? I'll have to make a content for them as well. So that the bridge between the two actually happens. So factor in that. So when I meant go deep into this research, go deep. And for this 10-minute task, this was great. Build on it more, write a little bit more, and these all things keep somewhere where you can access them so that these things will come into your portfolio as well. Refine all the ideas that you have shared yet and build some more as well. That's it for today's session, guys. Do you have anything that you want to ask